Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the How to Film Weddings podcast. My name is John Bunn. I'm joined by my best good buddy, Mr. Nick Miller. Nick, it's a new week, lots of stuff going on, but first, how are you? What's good?
Dude, I am so good.
Give me all of it.
I am so good. The thing, if you're watching on the YouTubes or wherever, you might see that my setup's a little bit different than it has been. You notice the green wall that's behind me that used to be behind me, but I'm kind of redoing my office a little bit. I got a nice new chair. I got a standing desk that's right over here. I'm going to paint this wall a different color behind me. I don't know. It's like office stuff is happening and it feels good and it's neat and I like it. I'm feeling good about that right now. What?
That's great.
What about you? What's going on with you?
I got a couple of new plants. They're over here on my YouTube. My daughter and I named this one Groot, which maybe you know what that is, maybe you don't. But yeah, life is good. Kind of getting into lots of cool stuff for our year with how to film weddings. Got our course coming back out soon. Working on that. Putting together final details for our mastermind retreat location, which we have yet to announce to our mastermind students. There's just a lot going on behind the scenes. Last week, we opened up the world to our How to Film Weddings templates, our website templates, and some of you have joined and grabbed those. So a lot of really good things going on for real. So, Nick, I don't know if you've heard or not, though, the Instagram world has been taken by storm. By storm. A blue check mark storm has happened. And not everyone, lots of people are now giving their money in their dollar bills to Mark Zuckerberg. He needs more of our money.
He does.
He
wrote me
Instagram,
an email asking for more money.
Good. He needs more of our money. And lots of people are joining the Instagram verified or Meta verified trend. I don't know. You can now pay to have a blue check mark next to your name. Lots of chatter about it in our Facebook group this week. And we thought, hey, we already had some episodes recorded, but we're going to record this one and kind of push everybody else back a week because I feel like this is really important stuff to talk about. Never before have we been able to pay to get the blue check next to our name. Does that ruin the blue check? Does that make it not significant anymore? Is everybody going to have the blue check so it doesn't matter? So anyway, we're just going to have a chit chat about that. Nick, initial thoughts when you heard about Instagram, blue check. Obviously, I think everyone kind of in the back of their mind wants the blue check. You know, it's like that'd be really cool to have it. But what were your thoughts when you heard about it?
I mean, initially my thought was kind of like, well, what's the point? And isn't this are we just going to have another Twitter fiasco? Whenever Elon announced that Twitter, you could pay for the blue check mark. And then we had people, signing up and changing their accounts to say that they were Elon Musk and tweeting out things and changing things, all that kind of stuff. And I was wondering if we were going to have something like that with Instagram. It seems that Instagram maybe learned a little bit from Twitter's mess up with launching that.
Whatever.
Getting Twitter verified. And so I think it's one of those things where we all feel cool about it because there's been like this for the longest time. If you want a blue check mark, that means that you're somebody. That means that you're really important. And so there's like this, maybe it's an ego thing. Maybe it's a acceptability thing in our culture. Like, I'm not sure what it is, but one thing that, dawned on me is you and I and Blake were chatting about this, texting about this the other day. Cause I think, John, you signed up for both of your accounts, like, instantly as soon as you saw that you could do it. And Blake was like, in our world, there are certain things that matter even though they don't, or we're just conditioned to be a certain way. It's like most people that I know skip the first 2 or 3 Google search results that they get because they know that those are paid ads, right? And it's kind of like this subliminal, subconscious thing that, oh, you're verified. So now you matter more than you used to, or now you're better. So I think there's kind of this internal conflict thing about, no, it doesn't matter because you're still going to do the same type of work that you're doing. You're still going to be the same person that you are when you're out there, right? But it is a little bit there's that thing that it makes you look cooler than you are, and therefore, it matters to people. I'm kind of back and forth on it, where I can see it's like, no, this doesn't matter, but then again, it does add a lot of value to your brand. So
Yeah.
that was kind of a long, windy road of answer, but that's kind of where I am with it. What about you?
My initial thoughts were, it made me just think of a lot of things in the past that either Facebook has rolled out or Instagram or whatever. And the initial response from the masses is always like, change is bad, change is evil, this is stupid. And so like, I'm a big believer in like testing out the things that are put out through social media. I know that whenever a social media company like Instagram or Facebook or whatever is pushing something, that the people that kind of like iterated into their business early and start doing things are the ones that see a lot of benefit from doing that. And there's been so many times where it's like, oh, Instagram is going to be mainly Reels now. The app is dead, or whatever it is. People, whenever Facebook added the Facebook feed, I remember that when it was like, whoa, this is going to not be chronological anymore. This is not going to be whatever. And there's always like naysayers and haters and people that, it's like, this is stupid, I'm not going to do this. And I'm not saying I'm just like I jump on any trend. But when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's just very interesting. And I'm as it sits in the early part of April, and it just released a couple weeks ago in the States, it's like, I'm interested to see what it ends up doing. But before we get into that, for those of you out there that don't know, IG, Instagram, Meta last week in the States started allowing, or 2 weeks ago, something like that, allowing people to apply to get verified and get a blue check by paying somewhere around like $15 a month, US dollars. They rolled it out in Australia last month. They had more benefits. They took some of those away for launching to the States. And so for $15, you can sign up. You can, and they charge you. But then you have to you get the blue check. You get verified that shows that you're really the person that's behind the brand. Why does that matter? We'll get into a second. But what you had to do to get verified, what I had to do was I had to, you click on somebody's profile that has a blue check and it says, do you want to get Instagram verified? I clicked that and it took me to a page that said, do I want to subscribe? It's $15 a month. And I said, yes. I hit subscribe. And before it officially submitted, it says, does your name match your profile? So I made sure my name was John Bunn. And it also said, is your face visible on the screen, on your image? And I said, yes, it does. And you just had to make sure a couple of things so they can see your face, they can see your name. And then you had to upload a form of verification of who you are. You could do a passport, you could do a driver's license. I used my driver's license. It opens up the camera app. It lets it scan the front and back of it. And then it said, we'll let you know. We'll let you know when you get verified or whatever. The next morning, I got a notification saying, ta-da, you've been verified. And I had that glorious, selfish blue check right next to my name. So that's what I had to do. Nick, did you have to do the same thing? Because you got verified on Wild Oak Films, right?
Yes. And it was this... So with that, since we're a husband and wife team and all that sort of stuff, and you have to upload your license. So I actually changed the name of Wild Oak. I mean, it's still at Wild Oak Films, but I just put Nick Miller, Destination Wedding Videographer, so that my name would be on there. And then a better photo but it was me and Jen that's on there. So it did recognize that there were two people, but I was one of the people that was in there in that photo. So did that. I did for, the other night whenever John was like, I did this. I haven't gotten to do it for How to Film Weddings. And so I just tried to verify it, and I didn't read anything. I just, kind of went in. And so we actually didn't get verified on How to Film Weddings, not because there's something wrong with our account, but because I didn't upload a good photo that was closer to our faces. And I didn't put my name in the name of the Instagram account. And so it said, you can reapply for this. So it's not like you apply for it and then they shut you down for some reason. You can still reapply for it, but you need to follow those criteria, which is going to be your name in your feed or in your on your profile, and then you need to upload an image that has a good picture of your face, and then you need the to do an ID or something to verify it. While I don't think that it. Yeah, that's what it is. John, what are the things you have to add about this?
One thing on that too is, I after getting verified, I tried to change my name back to just like luxury destination wedding filmmaker, and it would not let me change my name. Like I had to keep the name that I changed it to. So just make yourself aware. And then also, I don't think you can change your profile picture. Can you? Have you tried to do that yet?
I think I haven't tried to do that yet, but one of the things that I did read and I did see is that you can change that stuff, but you will need to go through like the verification process again.
Okay.
So
they're trying to keep it tight. That makes sense.
Right. Because they don't want us getting verified and then changing our name to, someone famous or whatever and start running amok that's the whole reason, which on Twitter, it seems that people could get the blue check mark, but then they were still allowed to change their name, change their stuff and all that stuff. And so people got really messed up with that. So I think that's a thing that with Instagram. So it's still kind of in the infancy phase. But here are a few things that I am expecting to see from it. One, now we have people that are paying $15 a month for Instagram. I 100% am going to guarantee that people that have a blue check mark, their stuff is going to show up more than people that don't. Like algorithms, the algorithm is going to favor that because these people are paying for it and they want to see that ROI. Like if I posting stuff and it's not getting views and I'm consistent with it, and I'm doing all the things that I want to be doing on Instagram and it's not showing up, then I'm sure my thought is going to be, why am I paying $15 a month to have this little blue check mark next to my name? So, for a lot of people out there that are really trying to play the Instagram game and post and the reels and the different things and that sort of stuff, but you're not getting traction, sadly, you might need to be verified to get that traction. It's like whenever reels came out, a year and a half, whatever it was, and post videos and photos and stuff started tanking and people were doing the same thing. It's because they were really pushing reels. So this is where I'm going to say that I think, John, I've kind of landed in the camp where it doesn't matter from a sense of the prideness of it. It does validate you. And I think that most businesses, if they want to continue to grow on Instagram, you're going to need to get the blue check mark. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I want to play devil's advocate a little bit because I think that like the purists, I'm thinking of some of my friends that I know are not joining it, are like, I don't want to pay to be a part of a platform. I don't want to, like, if everybody doesn't pay, then, Instagram will have to do something else. And I get that. And so I didn't join it just for anything except for I really just wanted to research what happened to see if things changed or whatever. But like, it's kind of this weird thing. It's like if everybody pays, you'll be back in the same spot. We're all just paying $15 a month, but we all get more reach, but that means that everybody gets less reach. And so the thing that I think is really cool about it is like when you are dealing with somebody that's verified, you know that it's them. And you just know that like that's the official brand, that's the official person. Again, a lot of the micro celebrities, I want to make sure it's them. I want to make people that have 30, 40, 50,000 followers or 10,000 or 5,000 or it's like, is that really them? Is there some other account? Is this like the official? But like you're saying, Nick, I can't imagine Instagram not showing preferential treatment to people with the blue check. I've seen it already. And then also I want to get into talking a little bit like we're talking about what does it give you? Like what do you get? You get the blue check next to your name. When you comment or like on someone's posts, it shows up with the blue check. There's something psychologically that happens when somebody that's verified is commenting or liking. I have seen my interactions go way up. You do get increased support from Instagram. I haven't had to use it, but you're going to be able to get through to them for your questions much easier. When they released it in Australia, they did say increased reach, but they took that away for the States. But they're working on those platform updates. I don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. But
does anyone?
No, nobody does. But to me, it does. And you get into this spot, and it just depends on who you're going for with your clientele. But to me, any little thing that gives me that edge to make a couple know that I'm serious about my business and know that I'm not just playing around, that I'm the real deal, I'm going to jump on that. As a person that's aiming towards more of a high-end clientele, if I'm connecting with a wedding planner online and she sees I have a blue check or he sees I have a blue check, it's just showing them, kind of like having a nice website or kind of like having a good feed now. It's just like, oh yeah, this is a verified person that's taking their business seriously. And there's data and studies showing people trust you more if you have the blue check. And for $15 a month with my wedding film starting at $15,000, if one time in the next 1,000 months I get a wedding because of it, it will have been worth the investment. And so I want to get into, Nick, like your thoughts when it comes to the clout that it gives you. Does it matter for you? Are you excited? Like, what are you thinking about, like, with the blue check for you and your brand?
So on the, like, a thing that I think a lot of people or some people might be overlooking when it comes to what do you get whenever you get the blue check mark, is the verification, authentication stuff that they have now built in with the blue check mark. And so there are lots of accounts that I have seen. I got hacked. Instagram did absolutely nothing to try and get me back. I had 15,000 followers and I had built this thing and it got hacked. And now I lost it and I have to start all over again. With the blue check mark, that now basically becomes, I'm not going to say impossible, but it does become very, very difficult for someone to come in and hack your account. So if you've been working really, really hard to nurture your audience and grow your audience, the blue check mark is a no-brainer for that regard, because digital security and stuff is super, super important. And you don't want someone just taking this thing that you've worked really hard from and totally destroying it. So the blue check mark matters from that. Okay, back to what was your other question?
Just for you, for Wild Oak Films, where do you see it? Where do you see it?
Yeah, so Wild Oak Films, I did do the blue check mark, and I think that it's just one of those things, especially as we're elevating in price, especially as we're elevating the quality of work that we are doing. That check mark is a status symbol. It's one of those things, that we always say, that the number next to your name, how many followers you have, doesn't really matter, but it does give you validation. And so it makes people want to reach out to you more because your number is bigger. Again, we are firm believers, and we would much rather have a smaller following of people that want to see our stuff and want to be a part of our content. But whenever we are from a wedding video business side where we're trying to reach new clients, I think it definitely matters. And subconsciously, people are like, yes, I want to hire this person because they have a blue check mark. I guarantee you, if there were two companies that one had the check mark and one didn't, and like price, they were about the same kind of price, the same kind of product, I would bet that 8 out of 10 times they're going to go with the blue check mark people just because of that, because it's a subconscious thing. And while you as a filmmaker might think, oh, that's so vain and that's so prideful and whatever. Okay, you might think that, but what are your clients going to think, right? There was a wedding that I did last fall. Actually, it was the one in St. Louis that John, you shot with me. And I heard the bride, as she was walking off, she goes, "Can you believe that Wild Oak Films is here? They travel to South Africa." And could I have done the same amount of work whether I did? Absolutely, we could have done the same. But to the client, it was a big deal that we had traveled across the world. And I think that this blue checkmark thing is that same kind of, just how people perceive and how people think about it. Yeah. Attention wedding filmmakers. The best resource for licensing music for your wedding films is MusicBed. I have been exclusively using MusicBed for about 8 years, and our films are better because of it. I hear a lot from our couples that reach out to us that our wedding films feel different, that the music isn't cheesy. MusicBed has a roster of incredibly talented musicians, bands, and composers who pour their hearts into their work, and you can hear the difference. Find the perfect song with MusicBed's intuitive search features like genre, mood, beats per minute, and my favorite, key. Head over to howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed to learn more and take your films to the next level. Use promo code HTFW23 at checkout to receive 1 month free with the purchase of an annual subscription. That's howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed. Are you looking for a better way to deliver your wedding films? Look no further. Our friends over at VidFlow provide the most flexible video delivery solution on the market. VidFlow is pay per use with no large upfront costs or commitment, and you can cancel at any time. VidFlow offers a premium viewing experience for all of your couples, accessible on mobile, tablet, desktop, as well as their very own suite of TV apps. Each project comes with 10 years of hosting and an experience for your couples that will blow them away. Head over to howtofilmweddings.com/vidflow, where you can save 20% off a yearly business membership by using promo code HTFW20. Stop delivering your films the old-fashioned way. Give your couples something to rave about by using VidFlow.
Yeah, I mean, I think our friend Elaine from KEJ,
Yes.
there was a debate going on, a little, a healthy debate in the How to Film Weddings Facebook group, and I think she said it really, really well. Whenever someone asked, like, "Are you going to do it?" she said, "Yes, for the account security alone, $15 a month is change." Absolutely agree. And then the part where she says the legitimacy it gives an account. Think about the personal brands and accounts you engage with daily. Do they have check marks? And then the thing that really, really stood out to me, and she just put it into better words than I could have. She said, folks need to think like potential clientele, not videographers about this.
Yes.
And when you start thinking about your potential clientele, even just since getting the blue check, I know it's vain. I get it. I just feel different on Instagram. I feel more confident in who I am on Instagram. I want to comment with more people and like more people's stuff. I want them to see that blue check mark next to my name, so that they're like, wow, John is a big deal. And again, I get that. That's my truth. That's the honest truth. I want them to be like, wow, he's no joke. He is legitimate. He is serious about what he's doing. I don't need it so I can be like, hey guys, look, I have a blue check next to my name. But when someone is reaching out to me, or if I'm commenting or whatever back, the average person that's just a couple, they're not getting verified. Like, that's not what they're doing. Like, why would Jimmy and Susie, who are hiring you for their wedding, get verified? They're not, but they're on Instagram. And if they see that you're verified, there's something subconscious that they're going to say, I trust them more. I know that that's really them. I know they've gone through the process to get verified. Like, you just trust people with a blue check mark. It's just that. Now, will time change that because everybody is getting the blue check mark? Maybe. And maybe people in 6 months or 12 months will make fun of us for having added the blue check mark. But here's what I've noticed. The people that sit on the sidelines and bark at the things that are going on and make fun of the people that are going after their dreams, they're going after their goals, they're going after things, they're the ones that sit back and have the negative, pessimistic attitude and are always over there on the sidelines complaining about how hard things are, how their calendar's not full. They're always the ones that are the trolls. They're the ones that, and I look at the people that are really successful in our industry in the past 4 or 5 years, people that have come up in the last few years that are killing it. Emma K Films. I'm thinking about her. I'm thinking about Lucy Cameron Films. I'm thinking about some of these people, and you might have been in the industry for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus years, and you're like, these kids don't know what they're doing. They're like, this is the same thing as when I first started. People like that would not change their editing technique. They were old school. It looks like The Bachelor, the soap opera vibe, had rose petals following down, had champagne glasses animated twirling between sequences. those people were like, DSLRs are stupid. Like we use mini DV tapes or we use whatever. And they were unwilling to change. And I'm not saying that this is the be all end all. You have to change or you're going to lose your business. But social media and these kinds of changes are huge for us. And for $15 a month, like let's say you jumped on this for a year, right? And you said, for a year, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be verified. It's $180 for the year. What if you learn about some things that maybe the blue check mark goes away in 6 months and they don't allow you to do it anymore? They said it's a huge failure. What would you have learned? You could have learned new things. You could have taken steps. I think about Vine, the people that were like killing it on Vine, 10-second clips, just putting work in, and then Vine gets canceled. Well, what do you know? TikTok comes out a couple of years later, or Musical.ly, or what, and now they've had that training. And if they would have said, well, Vine's stupid, like it's only 10-second clips, they are the people sitting over on the sideline, just barking at others for trying to do things. So anything you want to add, Nick?
Yeah, no, along the same vein, 3 years ago, when COVID hits, right, TikTok explodes. And I remember, just getting on TikTok and like watching videos and stuff. And we were like, no, we like as wedding videographers need to be on here. And there were so many people that were like, no, it's this and it's that. And they're like, I don't want to get on TikTok. And I would say that a lot of people, specifically the Gen Zs that are now getting married, right? They're the ones that are on TikTok more than they're on any other social media platform. And that's where they are. And so if you want to, and the people that have adapted TikTok as a part of their social media repertoire, like they're growing and they're booking those weddings and people are starting to do that. So I think that the whole adage of kind of adapt or die, don't things are coming up. And so you have to figure out now, if you're fine, like, I don't want to do that. That's fine. Like, you don't have to, but it is one of those things where you need to pay attention to what's going on in the social media world, and you need to see that there is some viability to it. Again, I love what Elaine said just about making yourself look like more desirable by doing that. I think any of us out there would, at a drop of a hat, if we were like, okay, here's a new $8,000 camera and this is going to make couples notice you more, like people would be like, oh yeah, great, I'm doing it. Absolutely. If it's a camera. But the fact that we're talking about $15 a month for a social media thing that makes you look more viable, people are like, nope, that's stupid. That's a free platform. I'm not going to do it. I think that we just have to rethink how we do it. And I love what she said about don't think about other wedding video people. Think about your clients. What does the general public think? Whenever I had the realization that I am not editing my wedding films for other wedding videographers, I'm editing them for my clients. Like, I think that was so freeing and it made our edits so much better. Sorry, I got choked up. That was a really good point that I made. And it just,
maybe you got checked up, blue checked up.
So anyway, the only point that I'm making there is knowing and understanding who it's for and what it's doing for your business. I don't think that any of us would argue if I knew that this was going to make my business way more legitimate, you would spend way more money than that. But the fact that it's Instagram and it's this free platform that's always been free, I think there's some stigma to it where people are like, absolutely not, no way, not going to do it.
Yeah. And, you might be like, this isn't going to do anything for my business. Yeah. If you get verified on Instagram and then do nothing with Instagram, it's not going to be worth the investment.
Correct.
If you're a wedding filmmaker, we need to put out more content on this, but still, I think you need to be posting a few times a week to Reels or to your stories or showing up and there's so many different things out there, but Instagram and TikTok are currently where our couples mainly are. And thinking through all the things that you are doing for your business. And it's like, if I'm going to be posting 3 Reels a week, I want those to show up with a blue check. I want people to keep seeing those when they show up in people's Explore feed, which is what brides are doing. They're going through the Explore feed. They're typing in wedding videography. If they're scrolling and they see your video, if it's great, and then they see a blue check, it just adds to that credibility. They might pop over to your page. And then I also think about like reaching out to planners, designers, other photographers, and things like that. I don't cold call a lot of people or cold slide into people's DMs, but I might comment on a high-end wedding planner or a wedding planner I want to work with, on her post or on his post and say, hey, this is amazing. And that blue check, I guarantee you, will make you stand out. And what if it helps you get one relationship? What if it helps you get in the door with one person? And it's like, yeah, you can sit over on the sidelines and bark at everybody else that's doing it and say we're all sheep. I get that. That's fine. But the people I see that are being successful, especially if you're starting your business in the last 5 years, are ones that are diving in deep with stuff like this. And I would encourage you out there, if you've been doing this for longer than 5 years, to not be like the people that were the dinosaurs in my industry when I started that were like, I'm not getting a DSLR camera. I'm not going to edit a 10-minute film. I'm not going to edit a 4-minute film. I'm not going to do a same-day edit. I'm not going to do a teaser. I'm not going to do... Those are the people that all of a sudden don't have bookings, that don't have, they're the purists. And there's good to that side of the equation, but also you've got to weigh that out with like what it is that you want to do for your business. So the question I would ask, Nick, is this like, who should do this? Who should apply? Nick, who out there do you think should apply for this? If they're wedding filmmakers out there listening.
Absolutely, at the bare minimum, all of your business accounts. Like if you have a business wedding video and you're like serious about growing your business and, maybe going full time or like really making some money with this, if you have a business account, you should go in and be verified 100%. If you're, with personal accounts, I don't know if, I think it just depends on your strategy and where you want to go with that. I think it makes sense for someone like John and I to have verified accounts since we are educators in this space. And since, we're connecting with people that way. But, if you're just, hey, I have Instagram and I'm just, checking things out and I'm not, trying to do something with it other than just have it as kind of a entertainment source, then I don't think a personal account is worth it. But if you have a business account and you have a wedding video business and you want to grow that and you want people to take you seriously, I think that you should absolutely 100% do the blue check mark. You?
Yeah, I agree. I think that the only caveat to that is if you don't care at all about Instagram and you feel like your bookings are all the way full and you've got all the relationships you need. But if I'm thinking about you out there that are in, your first 5 years of doing this, first 8-10 years at the most, somewhere, it's like you're building this presence on Instagram. Like Nick, you said earlier, I have currently seen an uptick in engagement, in followers. I've had it for 3 days, and it's like not enough to really do enough data, but I can only imagine that as they roll out new benefits, they're going to keep trying to get more and more people to sign up. So what are the benefits? What are they going to give us? Are they going to grandfather us in for a cheaper price? I don't know, but it's a risk I'm willing to take at $15 a month. I'm going to stop by Starbucks 3 less times. Great. And there's this chance that it's going to help me do what I need to do. And so we wanted to have this episode. We're early on this. We haven't had enough time to really dive in. So if you have questions or thoughts about it and want to message us, do it over on Instagram, believe it or not, at How to Film Weddings. And, let us know what you think. I personally think it's a really good thing for our industry. It's going to help us stand out.
Yep.
If you're listening to this podcast, that means that you already care about your wedding video business and you already are doing more than most people are doing. So why wouldn't you keep taking those steps to stand out from the other competition in your area, to stand out from other filmmakers? What if this little thing helps you in your business? And so those are my final thoughts for now. I think it's a good thing. I am interested to hear any negative feedback. I'm open to it. Let me know what you think, if you think we're crazy. But as for me, I know that with the brand I'm trying to build, that I want people to see that I'm a legitimate person, that this is a legitimate business, and I can't wait to see what it ends up doing for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in the same boat with you. And who knows? Maybe in 2 or 3 months we're going to sit here and be like, "That was a waste of money. Why did we do that?" But it could be in 2 or 3 months, whenever they change it or they double the price or something, and we get grandfathered in, like, "Oh, we were so smart for doing that 2 months ago, and now everyone else has to pay $30 a month or whatever to be a part of this." So I'm excited to see what the blue check mark does. And as Instagram has been for the last couple of years, it's kind of growing and morphing and changing and trying new things out. And we will just kind of have to see where it goes. But my opinion is, it is definitely worth your time and energy if you are a business and having a business account to go ahead and get that verification if being on Instagram is something that really matters to you as a business. So,
Yeah.
John, before we land this plane and get us out of here, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I just think that as we all grow as wedding filmmakers and as we're pushing, you have to realize that, yes, Instagram might not be as big of a powerhouse as what it was. Maybe TikTok has taken some of that. There's all kinds of legal stuff going on right now with TikTok and and I'm not saying that TikTok is not something you should be pushing. I just posted a video last week that's already almost at 1 million views. I'm really excited about it. I'm still doing TikTok. I'm still doing these things. And it can get overwhelming. And I know that, but like, Instagram is not going anywhere for at least another year or two. Maybe it dies one day. That's fine. Maybe it doesn't, because I just don't see. Yeah, maybe it's lost some of its market share, but people are still going to both Instagram and TikTok, and it's very important for us to have our Instagram. We've talked about it a bunch that Instagram is like the curb appeal to your brand. It's the thing that invites them in to want to come into your website, to come in and inquire with you and book you. And so this free tool to pay for an upgraded version of it, to get more reach, to get more exposure, these kinds of things just didn't exist 10, 15 years ago. And
Exactly.
take advantage of them. Yeah, they might be changing, and you can either be like, that's not the way they used to do it, so it sucks now. Or you can be like, they have built this multi-billion-dollar platform, and I'm either going to hop along for the ride, or I'm just going to complain about it, or I'm just going to get off of the ride. That's fine, but know where you stand and know what you want to do.
Absolutely. So those are all good points. Let us know in the Facebook group, or DM us on Instagram or whatever. Let us know your thoughts on the blue checkmark. We would love to have a little conversation with you. So, John, as always, it has been great to hang out with you. Listeners, thank you for tuning in, and until next time, we will see ya.
See ya.